Hello my friends, welcome to another video, and this time around I'm gonna give you my top 10 things that I don't really like about the Huawei Mate 20 Pro, that I don't really enjoy. Consider these are personal things that I don't like. You may have other reasons for which you dislike the Huawei Mate 20 Pro, or you may not disagree or agree with me at all. So let's start with reason number one, and reason number one has to do with the retail box, and better said, with the lack of some accessories that usually Huawei puts inside their boxes. And I'm talking about a protective case, a silicon protective case, which I have to buy separately. And also, this time around, it doesn't come with a screen protector. So I had to go and to purchase a screen protector, and the options were very limited at the moment of this device coming to the market. But I bought a cover or a protective film for the display, also for the back and for the sides. It cost me around 15 euros because I live in Europe. So these are my main gripes in terms of box content, because I was accustomed to have them in the box. Also, this may be market dependent, because I've seen that on other markets you also get a protective cover, and also you get a protective screen film mounted on the device from the factory. So I don't know. I live in Romania. Maybe for our market they considered that we have to pay extra. So this is one personal thing, because I love to have my devices protected. I don't like to wear them naked, and I always put a protective film on the screen and also a protective cover. It would have been nice to have them in the box, especially considering how much you pay for this device. The second thing that I don't really like has to do with the camera, and this is a small annoyance for me. What it is, it's simply the shutter button. In certain scenarios, especially in low light or in dark environments, whenever I push the shutter button to take a picture, I notice some lag. For example, right now it's working perfect, as you can see. But if it were dark or low light, without all the lights inside here in this room, I would have had to wait for about 1 or maybe 2 seconds for it to do its job and to capture the picture. This is very annoying, especially when you are trying to capture a certain subject or to take a certain photo. It's very annoying. This lag, it's present, and to be honest with you, I haven't seen it before on the Huawei P20 Pro. So this is something new to me on the Mate 20 Pro. Probably they will fix this with a software update, hopefully very soon, because it has become very annoying for me. Reason number 3 is the sound. And don't get me wrong, the Huawei Mate 20 Pro is not a poor quality in terms of sound type of device. No, the quality is there. It features Dolby Atmos support. You have stereo speakers, one up here and one integrated right here in the USB Type-C port. But the problem is that because of this implementation, of this innovation right here with the loudspeaker inside the USB Type-C port, the volume is not as powerful at high levels as it is, for example, on the Samsung Galaxy Note 9, which I consider to be the best smartphone on the market in terms of loudspeakers. It's simply amazing. I already did on the channel a audio comparison between the Mate 20 Pro and the Samsung Galaxy Note 9. You can check that video out and see how they perform. In terms of quality, they are the same, but in terms of loudness, the Note 9 simply crushes the Mate 20 Pro. As I said, it's powerful, it's very good, it's high quality, but it's not at the same levels with other devices on the market. And sometimes in certain scenarios this affects your viewing pleasure. For example, if you are consuming multimedia, and also if you have your device charging and connected to the wall charger, you're gonna see that being connected muffles the loudspeaker found in the USB Type-C port. So keep this in mind. Reason number 4, another innovation from Huawei, and it is the nano memory card. Although I like the concept, although I like the fact that at least now they are giving you the possibility to have external memory mounted on your device, what I don't like is the fact that they didn't do it with micro SD cards, because basically nano memory cards are very hard to find and also they cost a lot. For example, a 128 gigabyte nano memory card made by Huawei costs about 60 or 70 euros, at least here in Romania where I live. So for me to pay that much when I already have a 128 gigabyte micro SD card, it's a nonsense. It's a nonsense. I would have preferred for them to stick with micro SD. I understand that they are trying to push forwards in terms of innovation, but right now on the market they are the only ones doing this thing. Hopefully next year or in the next 2 years more and more manufacturers will adopt this standard that Huawei implemented, and it won't be an issue anymore. And of course the price of the cards will drop down. Reason number 5, of course, we cannot talk about or miss talking about the price of this device. It's a premium device, it's a top-notch device, it's considered to be the best Android device currently available on the market, depending on who you are asking. But still, as I said it in other videos, when talking about other manufacturers such as Samsung, such as Apple, such as Sony and whatnot, I do consider that the prices right now are becoming very, very cringy, very annoying. This one is cheaper, or at least it was cheaper when launched than Note 9, for example, with I don't know, about 150 euros, because I paid for my Note 9 back then about 1200 euros, and it was the 6 gigabyte of RAM variant. So I don't know, passing that 1000 euros line becomes a bit too steep for a vast majority of users, of consumers, and I'm not very comfortable with these prices that they are asking, especially considering the resale value afterwards, because in terms of 6 months, let's say maybe 1 year, the prices will drop roughly about 50%. So in terms of investment, it's not a good idea to buy a 1200 or a 1000 euro device, or dollars, whatever, depends where you live. The 6th reason for which I don't really like this device, and this is a problem that I had from the first second that this stupid thing was implemented on smartphones, of course, the notch. Don't get me wrong, it doesn't really bother me as much as it did in the beginning, but it's still annoying, especially when consuming multimedia, especially when watching YouTube videos, for example. because you have this cutout right here. Of course, being an Android device and being a Huawei device, you can hide the notch from inside the software, from the settings. It's very easy to do it, but I would have preferred a different implementation besides copying this dreadful solution that Apple first implemented on the market. In this form. I know that Essential phone came for the first time with a notch, but in this form, this horrid form, Apple was the first to implement it. I don't really like notches. I understand we have 3D facing recognition, facial recognition and whatnot, all the security sensors and blah blah, but I really wish that manufacturers would find different solutions to get rid of the notch. And cutting holes in the display is not a good solution, because I've seen that the Honor 20 View and the Samsung S10 lineup will come with cutouts in the display for the selfie cameras. That's not a better solution. Reason number 7, of course, the reversible wireless charge. I don't use it. I've only used it for a couple of times to test it out. My main gripe with this feature is the fact that it's very slow. It's painfully slow. It's basically a marketing gimmick, if you ask me. It works, but it's very slow, and it doesn't have a real value in real life. You're gonna get a 5% charge on your other device after 30 minutes of connection. So that translates to roughly 10%, 9 to 10% in 1 hour. It's good for those moments when you really have no option, no solution to recharge your other device, considering that it supports wireless charging. But to me, it's very slow, and it doesn't really have any impact, at least in my usage. Probably the next year, or in the next years, they will find a solution to make it fast wireless charging, and then of course it will be a lot more interesting. But for now, to my taste, to my style of usage, I don't really find it very useful. Reason number 8 is related to a camera, and it's about low light photography or nighttime photography, where my biggest problem or issue is that they decided to remove the 20 megapixel monochrome sensor, which was capturing a lot of detail in the Huawei P20 Pro, for example, and they decided to implement a new 20 megapixel RGB sensor wide angle. For me, I would have preferred for them to stick with the 20 megapixel monochrome sensor for the better details, for the better information captured by that sensor. So especially in low light shots, basically at night time, you're gonna see sometimes some grain inside your pictures. Things that I've never seen on the P20 Pro, for example, but which I notice sometimes on the Mate 20 Pro, depending, of course, on the scenario that you are taking that picture. I would have preferred for them to remain with the monochrome sensor, and also I'm not a big fan of super slow motion video recording at 960 FPS, which on this device, just like on the Huawei P20 Pro, is completely useless. It's useless. At least on the Note 9 you can use it and take some clips, the Sony XZ3, which does an outstanding job recording at 1080p, not 720p. But on the Huawei Mate 20 Pro, just like on the P20 Pro, it's a useless feature, and that's why I don't really use it. Also, the front-facing camera, the 24 megapixel front-facing camera, I would have preferred for them to work a bit on the software side. Sometimes it tends to overexpose in certain scenarios. So these are basically my biggest gripes with the camera, or with the cameras on the Huawei Mate 20 Pro. And as I said, already mentioned, my ninth reason was actually the 720p 960 FPS super slow motion recording. That's one of the reasons for which I don't enjoy using the Mate 20 Pro. Very poor quality, although it says 720p. Basically, to me, to my eyes, and not only to me, because I've seen a lot of people complaining about this, it looks like a 240 or 360p video. That's how bad the quality is. And also the super slow motion feature of the recording is something made through software, and is very poor implemented. Not like on Sony devices, for example, or even on Samsung devices. And reason number 10 for which I don't like the Mate 20 Pro, or it annoys me, better said, is of course the interface, EMUI. As you can see, I'm using Nova Launcher, and I've customized my home screen and my whole interface just the way that I like it. Just the way that I want it to look. Although EMUI now on version 9.0, it's a lot more cleaner. It feels nicer compared to older versions. I still don't prefer it. I still don't like it. Basically, it's a copycat to iOS, and I really don't like iOS. I don't like the huge icons, I don't like the sharing menu, I don't like the whole interface when using EMUI. That's why I use Nova Launcher or Go Launcher, for example. You can download them in the Google Play Store for free, and I can customize my device to the way that I like and to the way that I want it to look. Although they've made important efforts to make it feel better, it's still nowhere near what Samsung Experience, for example, is offering right now, or even the new Samsung One UI that will come in January, most probably, for Samsung devices. It's basically the same story, just like with Samsung TouchWiz. If you remember, a couple of years ago, Samsung TouchWiz was considered to be the most annoying UI on the market, full of bugs, slowdowns, and issues, and ugly in general. This is how I feel about EMUI right now, although this is 2018. I still don't like it. Okay, this does it for this video. These are my 10 things that I don't like about the Huawei Mate 20 Pro. As I said, these are personal choices, personal things that I don't like. You may have different things that you don't like about this device, but to me, to my style or type of usage of using my devices, these are the things that I don't like and I don't really appreciate. Some of them are things that could be easily ironed out through software updates. Others basically are mainly because of the innovation that Huawei decided to bring to the market with this device, and basically you cannot get rid of those things. Thank you for watching this video, guys. See you in the next one, and as always, be safe, be good, peace.